Alrighty, let's get going. We're already late. It's 10:30 at night, so won't be long before it's midnight and I have to go to sleepy bars, which is a lie. 'Cause I don't sleep at midnight. I just stop working quite as hard and I keep working slightly less hard. Just realised I've got iPad, shards of glass all over my workbench today. Yep, just getting stuck on everything. I'm not really the greatest fan of the doing the iPads, but you know, money is money, and that piece of glass just went flying off into the distance. So you do what you got to do to make sure the lights stay on. Yep, this stuff gets everywhere. iPads aren't so bad if the screen isn't shattered into a million pieces, but when they are shattered into a million pieces, oh, it is such a nightmare. So why am I doing this? How am I out of methylated spirits? That's problematic. Hey, Jim, Pedro, Josh, Paul. Hey, Paul Baker, I haven't seen you for a while. Keith, Barry, Miles. Looks like the usual troopers are here. Good to see. As long as I don't get sent an invoice one day from your respective employers forcing me to have to pay your rates or whatever, so that because of the fact that I distracted you at work. Alright, just cleaning up the bench there. Anyway, the first thing we've got to get done tonight before we get on to the job is I've got to reassemble a couple of machines. Let's see. These ones have been sitting around a little bit too long. Damn, there's another piece of glass. Let's go to the overhead. Okay. And it'll give us a chance for everybody else to catch up. Let's see now. Show my glasses. Where's my glasses? The glasses that should not leave this room. I'm rather blind without them. Hey Pedro, how's things over at iScam Yeah, it's really unusual. I normally now have gotten quite well into the habit of not taking my glasses out of this room. So the fact that I can't see them around here is a bit disconcerting. Means I might have to go for a walk to the other office. Okay, Paul. Well, good to know. Good to know. Let's just smear that paste around. And as you may have seen by the title, a couple of nights ago I did in fact order the Asia 4-port HDMI Capture Card. It just so happened that I was looking around the website. You know how it is when you go window shopping, wishfully thinking you could afford something. And it seems that the price had dropped again from $999 down to $760 or $770. And as an additional bonus, they were offering free shipping on a bunch of things. So I thought, right, that's it. Time to take the dive. And then many thanks to Mark. Mark threw in some extra funding just to really seal the deal. Hey, Damaris. And so, yeah, now I'm just waiting for that to be delivered. I really hope that they haven't botched up with that product listing, because when I went back to look at it today, I see it's back up to almost $1,600, and it's not listed in stock. It's listed as a pre-order or, you know, prepare to order sort of thing, and I'm like, gee, I hope they didn't just make a mistake thinking that the card was available and listing it as in stock, but really they didn't have it in stock and things like that. Now, I could be being paranoid, but the sad thing is I have encountered these sort of situations with this store before. I don't know whether it's them deliberately pushing their luck or whether they just occasionally have, snafus, and subsequently I happen to catch that snafu this time. Yeah, Miles, I was really lucky. I just happened to check the site again and they're running a special, so it just seems interesting that they've been pretty much to half price, which is quite a drop. Let's see, I'll just show you guys what it is. Schematics. So this is the card. Thanks. Yeah, 4-port capture. So essentially it's like a Magewell, but just a different brand. And the price makes it seem like it should be up around about the Magewell quality. But you can see here it's $1,600 almost, or $1,550. And yeah, I got mine for $740, but the thing is they have not packed it, and it's been there 2 days now and they still haven't fulfilled the order. And so this is the other thing that bothers me: available for pre-order. So I don't know whether they had one on stock and they were just trying to get rid of it, or whether they've had a stuff up and I'm now going to be fighting with them to get my money back. So I guess we'll have to see. $2 to ship. Miles, I used to get them same day. Like if you got your order in before around about 11 o'clock in the morning, they would have that shipped out that day. And same with, well, I think we spoke about it before, PC case gear. Yeah, they used to, you put your order in and before, as long as it was before, 10 or 11 in the morning, and you'd have it next day. But these places, they just seem to really drop the ball and slip back to the 2-3 day fulfillment strategy, and it sucks. Sort of like they get you with good service initially and then they just sort of go, yeah, we're too lazy to keep this up. So that's why now I actually mostly buy my stuff from Centacom, because they actually do, at least for now, get them out on the same day in most cases. Funnily enough, so does JB Hi-Fi. So like if I want something and JB Hi-Fi has it at a decent price, then yeah, I'll get JB Hi-Fi to fulfill the order, and they will get it out really quickly for me. So yeah, places like M-Wave and PC Case Gear, who used to be, damn it, I didn't put the drive in, used to be top of the game sort of thing, and they're really dropping things lately. Okay, where the hell's that drive gone? Oh, duh, there it is. Have you tried ScorpTech? I haven't tried ScorpTech. There was some reason why I wasn't using ScorpTech, but for all I know, Centacom is probably the same company. A lot of these guys seem to just be the same businesses, but they present multiple different fronts, and depending on your personality trait or whatever, you'll pick one or the other, but they'll obviously in the end get both sales. So yeah, it's a bit like on eBay, and you see the same place selling the same products at slightly different cent values. I'm just trying to capture you one way or another. But it's all coming out of the same warehouse. Hey Tim, how's it going, Tim? I thought you'd be busy teaching. Oh, and I have done some more updates with Flexboard View, so may as well show them up now. Schematics. So let's see, let's pick a like 165. Let's see, and so now I can grab the server data and shows me all the nets just to let you know that the data did come down from the server, and we can indeed do updates now. Actually, I probably should do it on the, it was the 840. Yep, 840. Okay, it looks like I got two okay, I found another bug. Multiple instances of the same thing. But yeah, I can like change that to say 0.40, whoops, 0.40, close. That should be sent up. So if I quit 840, yeah, and there you can see the values being updated. So there, so the communication, the updates are all happening well now with OpenBoard data. I've just got to make Flexboard View do a better job. What I really want to do next is so you can do things like click on a connector or something like that, right click, and then have the ability to change all of those pins at once in this one location. You sort of can over here, but there's a bit of a trick to it, so I'm not going to go through to that. So I'm just going to make a simple sort of dialog that comes up and let you do all the changes in one place. So anyway, so that's what Flexboard View's up to. I'm about to send that up, or tonight's updates, and then everybody can get on there and burn their systems to the ground because they used my faulty software. For those of you who don't know, Tim is actually current over at Jessa Jones's place. He's doing a course on MacBook repairs. So if you are interested in doing MacBook repairs and you want to do a course and you are in the New York State area, I guess, or you're willing to travel to the New York State area, it seems like there is now someone who's doing it, which is Tim Herman, TCRS. And I believe, Tim, you've got another course on in September, is that correct? Hey, Basil. Because I know I get a fair number of people asking me if I do courses, and look, I just don't. It's not something I've ever been good at, or at least not wanting to be good at. I guess that's the key. But seems like Tim has taken the reins, and he knows his stuff. Ugh. See, I can't even put a screw in properly, let alone anything else in life. Yummy Steak, yeah, these aren't very good courses as live streams, yeah. Let's see, September 20th, 25th, so, 5-day, 4-day course, that's pretty good going. Listen, I've got to go get my glasses. There's no way I can do the reassemblies without them at the moment, so A3X, so it shan't be too long. I swear they're in here somewhere though. come back inside. Ah, great, you've drawn the other ones out. Ugh. No good. Well, I found my glasses. Well, I didn't find my glasses. I just took the second pair. But I was trying to bring in the animals, but well, there's just no hope herding cats unless they're actually pretty much already in. There's not much chance of herding them in. You can try lure them in with food, but that doesn't always work so well. Usually what will happen is they'll communicate with each other, and one of them will eat the food while the other one will just hang out outside far enough, and then they'll swap places to make sure you don't successfully bring them all in. Okay, what's going on there? What is going on there? It's like that it doesn't want to go into the hole. And in all honesty, it's a T5. It didn't. You do not belong there, so why are you there? Rather concerning when you bring out a screw that you know shouldn't be in that place. Pretty sure a T5 belongs down there. Nope, does not belong there either. I've got a screw here that honestly I don't see where it would fit. And that's very unusual. There could have been something left in there from a previous job. Sometimes I don't properly check, and you get, one or two just hanging out where they shouldn't be. They might have got stuck in a corner. Particularly if it wasn't so much an official job, but it was just something I was, playing around with, just trying to. I thought I clipped that down. Which is why I'll end up with a spare screw or two, because it doesn't actually belong to a job. But yeah, that's just a little weird and quirky, and fills me with concern. This job has been pulled apart before by someone else, so it's not strictly my fault. See, in my opinion, this little, I think it's T4, it is T5, but that little screw there is too small for there, in my opinion. But I do recall when I disassembled this, I noted to myself that that screw was not quite correct for there. So I'm guessing that the person who opened it up before me might have just muddled up something. And I have a feeling that they probably just cross-threaded that larger screw. Yeah, so that one's the right one, but that there definitely does not take this monster screw. It just takes another one like what was in there as far as I remember. Yeah, see, it just cross threads in there. It's incorrect. So I'll have to go and find another one. Great. Just going into my room to get a 1708 box. I'm sure there's probably other options I've got to use, but it's a 1708, so we'll try to use the 1708 parts. Assuming I even have any. Seems like I've mysteriously misplaced all of the screws. Oh, that's fantastic, Paul. You've misplaced all the screws. That's so good of you. Idiot. Well, that was short-lived. Hey, Momo. What you doing, buddy? No, get your head out of there. Hey? Yeah. Alright, come on then. Come here. Yeah, that's not a good idea, buddy. There we go. See, same as the other night. The full face. There you go. What's going on? This little fellow likes to watch TV a lot. Don't you? But you're too distracted by everything else going around. Yeah. Alright. Okay. What is it? Really? Mm-hmm. Come on then. You're squirming like a madman. There you go. Daniel, you've gotten two kittens, Milo and Luna. Why is it everyone ends up with the same sort of names for their cats? Seriously, it's comical. Milo is a funny one. We sometimes are a bit cruel and call him Slow-Mo, because for a great deal of time he wouldn't really respond to his name or anything like that. He had no trouble responding to us if we were playing with him or anything like that, but when you called his name he would never respond to it. It was just like he was deaf. I actually thought he might have been for a little bit, but realistically, when you looked at their behaviour and how they would track things by sound, you could see that he wasn't deaf. But I'm putting the wrong screws in the wrong place. There's supposed to be long ones in there. But yeah, whereas his brother, Loki, is an extremely attentive, extremely responsive type cat. Yeah, they're complete chalk and cheese. But lately we found that Milo finally has... Oh, hey, sweetie.
He does not like you doing videos with
Yeah, I know.
You've been outside crying.
Oh, Mo! I've already brought him in just like 3 minutes ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants to be in here. It's like I've got to get a special platform for him or something, but...
It's too dangerous.
Yeah, too dangerous. Apparently he's complaining outside. But, yeah, it's only been in the last sort of maybe 3 to 5 months that he's come somewhat out of his shell and started to really want to talk to us and, just interact at a deeper level like that. And, yeah, he loves watching the TV. Like, we'll leave YouTube running for him and throughout the whole night, and he'll just sit on the couch and he'll watch TV all night. He doesn't mind what channel I put on, but as long as there's something on there. Oh, will do, Travis. Hello, Lonnie Gallant. Alrighty. So yeah, we've got the problem with this screw here because, as I said, that one in there is not the correct fit. So I'm going to have to just see if I can find something that will work without having to butcher it. Okay, no, that's not going to work. Let's see if I've got a 1708 container. I think I might have. Oh yeah, I do. It won't have a lot in it, but it might be enough. Nope, no screws, just a whole bunch of 3215s and PI3 USB 3232s. Well, that's very disappointing. Not sure where I'm going to get some screws for these. It's a little bit disconcerting. Well, we can do the bad thing. And let's see, I know I've got another 1708 project for this person. What? Hallelujah, found it. Sorry, Jim, have you been having dramas there? I just sort of caught the tail end of something going on. Alas, it would seem there's no screws of suitable nature for me here. Foiled once again. Let's try the other side. Oh. Yep, wait, this one's a better one. But what's the bet there's no suitable screws in this either? Oh, you definitely bigger. Apologise if I'm boring you all, but I would not want to be sending this out. Hey, finally. I don't want to be sending this out with that screw missing. It's the sort of thing that can just go wrong on you. Okay, what next? A Pro Services. That could be interpreted incorrectly, I'm sure. Hey, Prater. Get this damn thing out and get my money. You gotta watch it with these 1708s because you can mix up the screws if you're not careful, and if you're just blindly tightening things down. If you do manage to ruin one, then you probably should hand in your license to repair. Tim, are you still around? I do have a technical question for you. I don't know whether it's just a odd observation or whether it's legit, but I have found that when you reassemble these machines, these USB-C ones, like the 1708, even if the battery is charged, they won't start the first time just on the on-off button. You've got to actually jump start them with the USB-C input. So I don't know, maybe I'm just not patient enough when I'm pressing the button down. Hand in the wearers. We're going to make things worse if you've got to force people to hand in their wearer drivers. Then they're going to go back to those cheapies that come with screens. Oh, pardon me. Pretty sure he mentioned it normal in a recent video. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it's just one of those things that you sort of think, well, it never happens again after I've reassembled it and bootstrapped it. But it just seems strange that they won't bootstrap off their own battery. Then again, maybe not strange. Nick Vasey, have a 1398 on my desk. Functions fine off the bench supply, but switch to MagSafe and there's nothing but flashing green light. Sounds like SMC might be dodgy. Something in the one-wire circuit dodgy. Maybe the DC power supply is just happy to keep supplying without the communication. So I'd be looking at your one-wire circuit and SMC. Maybe the ISL. Alright, this is fine. Yep. Battery being dead's another one, yep. Alright, we're running a little low on time, so we're just going to put that one aside and we're going to get to the 1466 now. I've got an ISL 9239 in there I need to fish out so I can re-ball it. They're still too expensive to just toss aside like they're as if they're LP8550s or ISL 6295s. Actually got to treat them with value. MacBook parts, we're out now. Seriously? It's difficult for me to express the frustration I experience here when I lose things for extended periods of time that I should not. Laptop functions, bench power supply, disconnect. Okay, alright, so some sort of... yeah, I'd be looking at your one, particularly that it's flashing. That's kind of weird, the MagSafe flashing. Yeah, that's why I'll be looking at one wire circuit somewhere. Alright. Damn it. Looks like everybody's doing their bit to help Jim out for something. Thank you very much. Jim does a lot for us. He's certainly contributed a considerable amount. And Walter, you out of the hospital yourself? Alright, I'm going to have to switch to my fuzzy face while I disassemble this one. Once again, people put stickers on the bottom that contain a moderate amount of personal information. It's not a huge amount, but often security violations end up because of a accumulation of small, seemingly insignificant little dots. So I'm trying my best not to be a contributor of dots. Okay, time to get back to overhead. Oh. Yeah, there's definitely liquid damage here. And I don't know, you would almost think it's blood, but it's not. It's probably wine or raspberry cordial or something. No, that's Coke. Coke and something. Alright, so this is going to be... yep, JTAG's gone. Right. Board comes straight out on this one. No bother looking around. Let's see, Jim, you got donated $1,000 a couple of years ago for medical. Guy's missus just decided it was a loan and payment demand. What? Seriously? So they're, after all this time, they're claiming it back now? Is that even, can they even legally do that? You know, do they have any ability to call you out on that? Or is it more a case of they're just making your life difficult for the sake of, and hoping that you'll, you know, comply because it's an easier thing to do and you obviously feel like they're in some kind of distress as it is to make them behave like this, you hope, kind of. Hopefully they're not just being a Richard Cranium. Yeah, that's pretty lowly. I hate it when people do that. It's like if you gift something, it's a gift. You walk away from it. But as I said, maybe there's a problem where on their side they've encountered something serious and they've got to pull out all the possible money acquisition options. Still, it's a bit lowly, to say the least. This is after GoFundMe closed. Yeah. Alright, someone's been smearing around here. This is a field replacement unit, which is a bad start. I don't know if you can see it, but it says FRU on there, which really needs to be turned around to be URF'd. This is the 1466, 655. And of course, as always, with 1466s, strongly recommend pulling the Wi-Fi antenna cables out of the way before you try to undo the little T5 down here, because far too often I get boards in here and they've mashed those little cables, which of course ruins the Wi-Fi reception. I'm almost tempted this board should actually go in for a wash before I look at it, but we're not going to do that. We are going to service it as is. You've known the guy for 30 years. His wife has a reputation. She's the boss in the household. She earns good money, but have a few bills to pay. Yeah, that's... I'm sorry you're dealing with that one, Jim. I'm sure you'd probably like to just deliver the GTFO response. But I know it's not always that easy to be like that in real life. You know, you get a lot of people that like to give you that sort of bravado advice, but in reality it's a little hard to pull off, so I understand that. Alright, so we're going to be looking for something that can be a smoking gun. Now, I mean, that's all ugly, I get it, but I haven't found a smoking gun yet. I'd say it's probably JTAG. That's probably what's causing the dramas. So maybe I did find the smoking gun. See all this? It's ugly as anything, but it's not really a board killer. That's more of a board killer. So is that. Oh, don't know if that's gotten through. That's probably just exterior corrosion. It probably doesn't affect the pins yet. But yeah, likely that JTAG will have to come off. Please don't correct me on the term, the fact that I'm using JTAG. I do understand what it really is, but we use common terminology understood for meaning amongst the bulk of the people watching. Backlight's fine. SMC could do some work. There's a couple of selector resistors there that might be a bit dodgy. Okay, someone has brushed this. Damaris, thank you very much for the Flexboard View update. That will be going out tonight, that update, and then people can play around with it as well. As I was saying, you can see, yeah, you can see it. All this sort of light brushing look, it means I've tried to brush away whatever corrosion they found there. I'm gonna say JTAG, and then cleanups in general required ultrasonic. But is it 08 OTA, one-time availability? You tell me what OTA means to you. Over the air, right. Too many possibles. Too many possibles. Right. Looks like I'm going to have to update that cable. Shows it's been a couple of days since I've done a MagSafe 2 board. Did you see a cracked cap? Probably you didn't. It's more than likely just going to be a bit of junk. But we'll see. You never know. I could easily be wrong. It wouldn't be the first time. Most certainly will not be the last time. Okay, we're not even going to bother put the fan in there. Let's just see what happens. Let's turn on the power supply. We are reporting. Yep, nothing. 19 milliamp. Okay, so we've got 19 milliamps. No activity. Let's try remove the JTAG connector and see if with the JTAG removed, if that works. Let's do it. Nick, yes, it is an Apple refurb board. Actually, to be fair, I actually don't know if it is a refurb board because this is an FRU. and it doesn't have the dreaded 639 white sticker on it. So maybe it's not a refurb, maybe it is a proper FRU. Because a genuine FRU may actually be a new board still. Anyway, smells like Coke. Coca-Cola, not cocaine. I don't know what cocaine smells like. I don't care to find out either. That was actually rather difficult to get off. Hey Jim, yeah, you're welcome. You know, I don't mind. Because it's you. Other people I'll probably tell to get stuffed. But, you know, you've been here a while and you certainly contributed a hell of a lot of things, so yeah, I mean, I haven't even been doing anything for you right now, but at least looks like someone's helping out. Yeah, I know those two resisted a bridge. I'm not worried about them. I'll get to them in a bit. I need to do the cleanup first, so I need my 80/20. That's some real carbonization going on down there. And that fella under there probably needs to probably be lifted. There's probably corrosion on that temperature sensor. Yeah, I know Lewis can get them off a lot quicker, but I'm not a brute. I have a little more finesse about the things I do. Now, some people might consider that as a sign of being prissy, but I don't consider it like that. Never really been a victim of that sort of chit-chat. People calling you things like chicken or yellow belly or whatever. So, whatever. You just turn your hearing aids off and you can't hear it. Gonna lift this temperature sensor up. Have a look underneath. I'll probably replace that. It could easily be damaged. Jim, I'll send you a message afterwards too. I'm actually in a bit of a predicament with the loss of my credit card at the moment. It makes it difficult to do some things. I'll sort out something. Yeah, the one yesterday, I'm pretty sure that just came from the workbench somewhere else when they had it disassembled, because it really didn't belong anywhere on that board that I was working on. The board works perfectly fine. Great, now I've got to find a 165, and of course when I want a 165, all I'm going to pull out is 3437s, but we actually did get a 165 this time now. It was my third attempt. How's the lingerie modelling going? Still pending. Still got to find out whether it's going to be a new career path for me or not. Tony, no, I actually don't pay at the pump normally like that, although I'll go into the store and I'll do the pay wave thing. As far as I can tell, everything I've done is pay wave, so there's no way they've got the pin through that. I can only imagine, in all honesty, that I have purchased something from a internet online site like AliExpress or whatever, and they've got a leaky database. The other thing is, you don't know how long ago it might have happened. You know, your credit card details could have just been sitting there waiting to be exploited from 6 months ago, for all you know. That said, it doesn't really seem like normal criminal behaviour to wait, but you never know. It's a bit like the bastards that do ransomware locks, and they'll wait a good 30 days so that you have infected all your backups. Then when all your backups are infected, then they'll activate it. Hey Jessica Adele, I just saw you there. Alright, let's see if it was the JTAG. And the answer is no, it was not. It was not the JTAG. Alright, so it could be 342. So we'll get some voltage measurements up and see whether... Oh, it could also be the SMC at this point. But we'll check 342 first, and then we'll check PP bus, and then we'll stop dragging cables where we don't want them. Okay, 342. They go 341. That's pretty good. Yeah, nuts and proud. I'm gonna have to revert to doing that. It's a pain in the posterior. Okay, we don't have 8.17. That's well short of what we need. So we do have SMC type issues related here. So we go fix that little bit of damage we saw around the SMC, and maybe they'll come to life. Otherwise, someone better call Solderbridge and have him come watch an SMC rebuild. But I'm going to say maybe it's the stuff up here. Solderbridge will argue otherwise, because he wants to see carnage. Hey Catherine, she had she had her stitches taken out after the operation. Is she all good now, or still a bit more recovery? Just going to scrub this back now. That one in the middle there may have a broken pad to 342. It's pretty common for it to happen. Let's see. Well, that's holding steady, so maybe not. How about you? You're holding steady. And honestly, these are Yeah, there's a bit of bark taken off that one. Still not bad though. I'll try and liven that one up with a bit of solder. I'm going to have to switch my irons. Ach nee man, come on. Seriously? There we go. Get the old micro pencil lasso. Hey Greg, good evening. Jessica, good evening to you. Yeah, that livened up perfectly fine. Likewise that. This is going to be fun. What's the ISL look like? Pretty much downright perfect. Well, I might clean up that trash there. Ah, it's like a crusted on booger. At least the nice thing is, with these boards, if I can't fix them, that's fine. I've got no shortage of replacements. That actually looks like a normal-ish setup now. That's just a bit of residual flux around the SMC reset. SAS controller looks a little bit dodgy, but that shouldn't be affecting things at this level as far as I know. Well, we've gone from 19 milliamp to 8 milliamp now. Getting worse. And we no longer have 342. Okay, that's interesting. Question is that because I've got liquid somewhere, or did I disturb something? Given the fact that we've lost 342, I'm going to say the SMC is actually dodgy. In theory. Because quite often you will get the SMC pulling 342 down. There we go. Bit of junk. We're alive. Okay. We're alive, but the question is, did trash get in underneath that SMC? You know, is this just basically going to be an ultrasonic fix? Or, you know, I'd say, look, I'm generally disinclined to just reflow an SMC. Because I feel like many a time you end up leaving the trash under there. But yeah, I'd say something under there was bridging out our 342, dragging it to ground. So I'm going to reball it anyway, because I feel like it's easier for me to spend the 5 minutes. Well, okay, it's going to take more than 5 minutes, but it's better for me to spend the time now, get it done, know that it's done right, and there's no bits of coke sitting under there just waiting for the right day to cause this job to come back at me. Now, for all we know, there might be nothing under there, but do we want to take that risk? It'd probably be quicker for me to reball it than it is to set up an X-ray machine system. I've just got junk on my tweezers I want to clear off. Tim's got a nice setup. Unfortunately, I can't have one here in Australia. They'd probably send the feds in to arrest me if I had one of those machines. It's pretty interesting to look at the various photos that Tim has generated with his X-ray machine, from the very first film ones that he did that were just blurry, barely make it out type things, to the absolutely spectacular crisp and clear ones he does now with his digital sensor. So I'm quite envious of him having that piece of equipment, because it's certainly something that's useful. And it would appear there was no junk under there. Crap. Oh well, like I said, you know the way the world would go. If I didn't take it off, then there would have been trash under there. It's a paranoid way of living, but if I didn't live like that, then I'd probably regret it, because I'm a paranoid person. Yeah, Tony, I don't know if the lotto is going to help. Still have to get past all the regulations, that's the problem. Ah, damn it, come on. Assistive. This is not really assistive, this is just brutal right now, because I'm using 460 or whatever. Looks good. Just build an X-ray machine. Sure thing. I'll just go out and I'll become a glass blower and build my own tube. Easy pie. I'd be probably better off creating one of those machines that constantly pulls tape off the reel and make my own terahertz penetrator machine. Mind you, I don't know if that would actually... I don't know if there'd be enough energy in those to get through. Or I could just buy one of those X-ray spectacles that you can buy in the cartoon books. The wick is... what is it? Chem Tools? It's on my tools list page. Tech Spray, sorry, yeah. Tech Spray No Clean. And it's 1823 is the product number, 25F, which stands for 25 feet. So that's how you know it's American. Hey Rose Electronics, good evening to you. Once again, I'm just going to get rid of all the lead-free solder. Also try and fix up a couple of those pads that don't seem to want to take anything. Nope, might just have to leave those ones. Certainly a much easier way of flattening out wicking things, because I find if you do the whole iron tip on the solder wick and then onto the chip or the board, I just find it's a little bit brutal for BGA scenarios. So I prefer the somewhat more finesse way of doing it this way. There is one pad there that's a little bit grey, but it should be okay once we do the reball. Okay, Walter, good evening. Sorry, meds are messing with you a bit. It's not good. Triple Fives here. Nice to see you. Alright, now I do have to get rid of this excess flux here. For my reballing process to work, I really cannot afford to have excess flux that's going to bubble up while I'm doing the process. 5. Ah, that's a disgusting stencil. I'm just washing the stencil at the moment. Normally I keep the stencils in the alcohol mix, so I'm not sure what happened this time around. Okay, looks clear. Oh, that's right. We've got to put our 2 balls on. And unfortunately, I have actually washed this whole assembly, so I don't have any. Yeah, normally I would have a whole bunch of the required balls just floating around, but because I washed it, I've got nothing. So let's just spread a few around. That's great. That'll be our starter mix. Yeah, Tony, that's the problem I've got here. I just had it in that. It's actually, I just use pure IPA. I don't bother with 80-20 because with these, it's all just flux. Yeah, there's no other sort of contaminants going on around here. Okay. Get our IPA. Drop down the balls. Give it a little bit of a rub. And I think, other than the corner ones doubling up, I think that's everybody. Just going to drop our temperature down to about 330 and our air down to about 15 to 20, somewhere around that. Electro rep. Okay. So what we have to do is we heat everything up, and what this does, it's slightly, you get it to the point where the balls deform, and that just stops them being such perfect little spheres and jumping out. But it also means it's sort of an indicator at the same time that everything is hot enough for me to drop some flux. Like that, and then we come back at it, and it will now reball, or reflow the balls. Okay, we've got one or two that aren't yet complying. That's okay, it's not a problem. Yeah, just give them a little bit of a push. And they usually find their way. I think that one there needs a bit of a push. Might be right to come out. Ah, it's unusual. I don't normally get one not taken on. There was a little bit of junk there. So what we're going to do is, rather than risk it by doing it without the stencil, I am going to put the stencil back on. And I feel like I have picked up an unwanted, yeah, little, look at that, little roadside dregs. Could feel that there was something wrong. Still, seriously? Don't normally have these continued issues. Okay, all good. Drop that one ball in there. Reheat. Damn it. It's stuck on everything. Okay, I'm pretty sure I saw blah blah blah. Fairly sure I saw that drop down, so that's good. And indeed, that is perfectly fine. So while it's still sitting in the warmth of the fake rock, we will do another reflow. The reason why we're doing another reflow is that when they're constrained by the stencil's position, they don't get to always reflow to their proper centers. You can just see them shuffling slightly. Okay, so that's good. And that is a properly done SMC. Now we just have to actually properly put it back on the board and hope that we don't botch it. By the way, don't forget we have to remove that corrosion that is on the I think it's the J9500, the the MagSafe DC inboard connector. We have to fix that up. Okay, I'm just going to preheat this a bit. When I'm putting an SMC back down, I don't use the normal 460, 110 air. I drop the air back a bit. Daniel, I used to do pastry ball, but honestly I personally prefer, for these larger sort of chips, I much prefer using the balls now. The results are more consistent for me. Yeah, everybody's to their own. There are people out there who vastly prefer using paste, and well, that's great. I think try them both, see which technique you like best. I think also the equipment you're using will tend to swing you one way or the other. Like, I'm lucky enough that I found a holder for the SMC. It was just a random fit device. It isn't actually dedicated to SMCs. Whoa, that was a big jump. Ha, Eddie. Nice. Passive aggressive type thing, eh? It's all good. Alright, well, in spite of the big jump, that does appear to have settled in okay. I could be really shoddy and still be professional because I charge people. Now, on the other hand, am I good? Well, that's debatable. Yeah, the tendency for paste to dry out is a bit of a pain. A maintenance pain, an upkeep pain. But I worked something out. I should actually modify that broken insulin fridge into a solder paste fridge. But then I think, you know what, Paul? It's going to be easier, cheaper, and better for you to just buy another one of the fridges, the good ones that work that I've got for Micro right now. Just buy one. You know, it's 150 or whatever, and then you never have to worry about it again. But if I make my own by hodgepodging that old broken unit, then yeah, I'll probably fiddle and fart with it. It'll just, yeah. Sometimes it's just not worth messing around things. Sometimes it's easier just to buy something to do the job outright. Okay, so it's still a bit hot. Just cooling it down. Evening, James. Well, I do agree it's boring, but then it gives me time to do other non-boring things. Like filling up my water tower with money so I can swim in it. Well, we are still alive at least. We need to wait for the green blinks to come up, by the way. Come on, green blinky. Give me green blink. Yes, green blink, that's good. Alright, so this is now live. It just has to go through the glorious process of ultrasonic cleaning. And then, yeah, it should be good to go. I think also the ultrasonic cleaning will clean out any sort of last bits of that coke that are lying around which could potentially cause issues. But we've done the main parts, and we've obviously done the SMC just now, so they are the main things I was worried that could come back and haunt me. Oh, damn it, that connector. Yeah, we've got to do that connector because that won't come out properly in ultrasonic. Bonk. See, the thing about repairing all this stuff is that you don't fill up the landfill, but you do fill up your bank account. So things still get filled up. Now, that does just look like there was just something resting on the inside. It didn't actually get into the contacts. It's interesting, I can't even see it on here. So we'll just put that there. Give it a little bit of a flux and boil. Lower temperature, of course. Yeah, I'm not removing the connector, I'm just getting it to break down that corrosion with the flux. Because this whole brass outside thing, it really is just a sheath. There we go. And they'll be just fine now. Tony W, with regard needing to remake C, you had to do the other night to get a needed debug point. Have you ever used... Oh yes, D-Trace from the Sun archives. Yes, D-Trace when it came out, of course, was going to be, well, was heralded as the great big next thing for making things substantially easier, and it certainly does make things a fair bit easier. Linux never really seemed to produce a good version of it, at least that I was aware of at the time, because this is like well over 20 years ago now. In a lot of what I do now, my personal favorite tool is Valgrind, but it's not quite to the same degree of what D-Trace is. But yeah, so I am aware of what D-Trace is, but it never really sort of lived up to what the Sun Systems one was like, at least on Linux anyway. I could be wrong. A lot of things can happen in 20 years. Yeah, see, there you go. I already told what Tony was saying. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of things out there that can help you, resolve problems or find problems, all that sort of stuff. But at the same time, you also need to invest the time in understanding how to use them to their best of abilities. So many tools don't get used because of that reason. It's like sometimes it's just easier to just stick with filling up your code with printfs and stuff like that. Yeah, printf, there you go. See, I'm sort of with Pernov there. Is printf pretty much is my favorite. Printf and then Valgrind if it's some sort of memory crash that I can't seem to pin down. Valgrind's great for when you've clobbered some location in memory or a pointer and you don't find out until you pop the stack later. And so you can't ever really fix that with a printf other than knowing that you never get out of the function. But then you bring up Valgrind and Valgrind sort of says you did it right there, and it's like it's beautiful. It's a good combination. So GDB, yeah, GDB is good too, but honestly I don't use it that often at all. For me it's printfs and Valgrind. So although I actually use the logging tool a bit now as well, but I think most coders, we all tend to have our own logging library somewhere. We've created something that's a little bit more sophisticated than printf, or a wrapper around printf. I don't think there's many programmers who haven't done some kind of logging module for their code. I think it's sort of like just de facto. Anyway, I am out of here for tonight. We got this board fixed, so that's great, even though it was a field replacement unit. But like I said, I suspect this is probably more likely to be a new board than the dreaded 639 white stickered type boards. This is more of a case of Apple said, okay, we're going to set aside a number of boards for field replacement units. And I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe they do repair these, but this one probably, I'm going to guess, was a new one at some, when it was installed, and we just got liquid damage on it because, not many boards tolerate Coke so well. So we'll put this through the ultrasonic and it should all be good. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll catch up for you maybe tomorrow. We'll just have to wait and see. Till then, you'll take care. I'll see you later. And I'm going to go do some coding now. So if you are watching with Flexboard View, stick around, and there should be a new update shortly for the bleeding edge alpha developing type people. I'll see you later.